Well, we get to find out if the oil pressure comes up today. Left you off last time with will the oil pressure come up? And maybe it will, maybe it won't. So we're going to find out shortly.
I'm Eric Reese. I sell real estate for a living, but I fly and instruct in the Aerostar for fun. Join us on our travel and training adventures in the world's fastest light piston twin.
Okay, we're all set to turn the left engine over a bit, see if we get any kind of oil pressure, or as they say in Texas, oil. Got to get some oil pressure, which is that top gear. Oil pressure. Got to get some oil. All right, so we'll go ahead and turn this thing over, and that thing's going to spin. It's turning. All right, we've got red line. That's good. £40. Yeah, we got it up there, so that's good.
Now that we have oil pressure, we need to find out if oil is getting to and through the bearings in the two turbochargers on each engine. So the way we'll do that is remove one of the oil lines downstream of the turbo, and then turn the props over again to see if any oil flows out through the bearings. And once we have oil through the bearings, we'll know that once those turbos start spinning, we'll have lubrication, which is a good thing. Since I'm not an airplane mechanic, I'm a pilot, but not a mechanic, I just do what these guys are telling me to do. So I only know enough to keep myself in trouble, and they're there to keep me out of trouble. So some of the stuff we've got to do is put some new tires on. These tires have been sitting there for 20 years, probably. And they've got some cracks in the side, and the last thing I want is to take off and then land the first time and have a tire blow out. That would not make my day at all. We have to jack the airplane up to do that. Then the next thing we have to do is a gear swing, which means we'll retract and extend the gear a few times, then check to see if it comes down without hydraulic pressure, which is one of the emergency procedures. We'll test the gear warning system, make sure that works. Make sure the up lights work, make sure the 3 green down lights work, and then it's back to the engines.
Yeah, we're definitely getting serious. So Kurt Ottenheimer is our IA on this project. And among other things, what else are you doing? You work for Boeing, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What do you
Quality.
do? Quality control?
Yeah, quality control on all the programs. Work for SST, which is Strategic Support Team. So basically what we do is we work around the whole factory, helping out big problems and stuff like that that need to be done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So this is probably a little problem compared to some of your big problems.
Yeah, it is. It's not too bad though.
Yeah.
A lot of what I do is mainly paperwork and stuff like that for Boeing, and then do certain inspections and stuff. So
okay.
Yeah, I get to watch everybody else do the work and make sure they do it correctly. This is where I get a chance to do my skills and work with all the stuff with my hands and everything, which I really enjoy doing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what are you doing right now?
What I'm doing here right now is we're greasing the prop. It's been a while since it has any grease in it. So what I do is I take a fitting out of each end of the hubs, and then I go ahead and I squirt the grease in here until it comes out the other end. So what we're doing is refreshing the grease that's inside of this hub.
So there's an issue with this grease though, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Everything seems to be on back order for all this grease.
So we found one tube.
Yep.
So we got enough to do the other one.
Enough to do the other prop so we can get that going.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, because we're going to definitely need it.
And you'll squirt that stuff in here in a minute. So it's 18 years since anything's been done with this.
Yes.
And what do you think of the airplane?
It looks great. It's a good looking airplane. It's well maintained. yeah, I'm looking forward to see this thing run and actually go flying again.
Yeah, that'll be soon.
Yeah, very soon.
Okay.
So yeah, we got to look at a few minor things on it, take a look at it, make sure everything works correctly, you know, go through it pretty well, and get a ferry permit and get this thing sent up to Idaho so it get gone through and looked really good.
All right, fantastic. Well, pump the grease.
Yes.
Hey Kurt, can I get your autograph now that you're a movie star?
Yeah, exactly.
A movie star on the Aerostar?
Movie star on the Aerostar, yeah, we can do that.
So, Sam Warren, tell me your story. How did we meet?
Well, I heard about this hangar cleanout party and went, ooh, that sounds exciting. And got to sit in my first Aerostar when you were there. We met, enjoyed our conversations. I got some really cool tools and parts and supplies. I paid that forward and handed that stuff out, helped a kid out with his 172.
Well, that's really cool.
Beardsley family have helped them out.
Oh, cool. So then with this thing, we had somebody lined up that was going to do this, and it just didn't work out. It just didn't have the time or interest or wherever. And then
Yeah, everyone's booked out months.
yeah,
Wasn't reliable.
yeah, just a reliability issue, and just, you know, hey, I'll be there tomorrow, never shows up. And a week later, well, I'll be there tomorrow, never shows up. A week later, I'll be there tomorrow. So, you know, that went away. So I think I called you.
You called me and you asked me who did I know, who would I recommend.
Yep.
I recommended Kurt,
And here I am.
suckered him in on this. And then Larry Pine, but he's definitely way too busy. He's just really full with everything he's got going on during this time of the year.
Yep.
And because I care about you and want to make sure you're safe, and I suckered Kurt into it, I figured I should be here to help support Kurt and yourself.
Well, plus you got some mechanic skills too, because you're at Boeing also.
No, I'm a fly-by-night wannabe, you know, own a plane and.
But I've seen the work you've done on your plane, and it's absolutely gorgeous. That 59-182 is beautiful.
I don't want to do the work in the first place, so let's do it the best we can the first time.
Yep.
And, if it's not right, let's make it right, and let's try to make it beautiful.
Oh, that's cool. So I'm going to go over here. There's some really tall guy. I think he's actually the owner of the airplane.
Doing the shiny stuff.
Robert Kindle. So he's been relegated. Oh my God, look at these.
They were all oxidized.
That is amazing. So what are you using to do this? Obviously you got a buffer.
Might as well show them this too.
Jeez,
Ready to stand so we can take it off and mount the spinners on that, and so we can work from it instead of working on the airplane and around the props.
so that
This here.
aluminum
So you
deoxidizer.
put that
All
on
right.
first. This makes the job a lot easier. And
Okay.
then we use this
Purple.
purple metal polish, same company.
Okay.
I've used it for years, and it's
That looks a lot less messy than the Mother's mag wheel cleaner stuff.
Yeah, and also when that dries out, you can hardly get it off.
Oh yeah.
That's what,
And then
oh, there you go. Scared the hell out of it, didn't it? That sound.
Yeah.
Saw you jump. I'll go back here and see. You got like 4 inches before the front tire hits. That was the longest flight this aircraft has had.
so that right there is a lever connected to the turbo wastegate. And when I first opened them up, it was totally frozen and couldn't get it to move, which is not good because if the wastegate doesn't move, once you start developing power, you won't get any turbo boost. So that's loosened up. We just use mouse milk, and then it's still sticking here like the other one did. I got to work that lower end out, and we'll get that freed up, put it back together. But the other problem that we don't know about, and I took a look with a borescope up there into the turbo itself, and I could see the turbo turbine blades and there's some white stuff, and I don't know whether they're going to move. Just some corrosion on the inside of the turbo housing. What's that arm doing coming up there? Where'd that come from? What are you doing that for?
I'm going to take the inlet duct out. That'll make it easier to get in there.
Well, make sure we can get, let's make sure we can get.
2, 3, 4 screws.
Is there one underneath it?
Nope. No, there'd be no way because of the metal duct underneath.
Okay. Is that,
So just get this out of the way.
yeah, that makes sense. Got all the screws out, so when stuff's in the way, get it out of the way. Makes it a lot easier, right?
So this was in there.
Yeah.
2 screws allows that out of the way. And remove this upper hose.
Okay.
And then you get the hose broke loose because everything's welded.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
And now we can get to the front of the turbo.
Ooh, I'll have to come over on that side and take a look.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Come on over.
I see it. Hey, how about that? That's the inlet side,
Doesn't
so
look
that's
too
the
bad.
compressor side. So the question is,
Plenty of gap.
yeah, can we reach in there and turn it? That's the
Well, I
question.
didn't want to turn it till we
Yeah, take a look at it.
can't get a look. There's the bottom.
Yeah.
Well, we got
What'd you get?
all of the ducting off of the turbos, and which was a great battle getting them out. Now we're gonna have the secondary battle of putting it all back in on both sides.
Actually, the secondary battle was finding the little screws and washers you dropped.
Yeah, I dropped 2 nuts and a washer and we couldn't get those out. So that was a half-hour ordeal of recovering those. But the turbo on the outboard side was seized, but that was easily broke loose with the wrench.
Okay.
And then we massaged it by hand, rotating it by hand until it became smooth again. This, the inboard on the left engine was quite easy. It wasn't froze up at all.
Oh, that's great. So that's good news. So
And so now it's just a matter of probably 2 or 3 hours of trying to put the baffling back on.
there you go. Then I think we're going to be able to get this out and fire it up here not too long. We've removed the cover off of what's known as the 176 panel. And it's called a 176 panel because it's at station 176 inches.
Oh.
So it's a datum point.
And
So
this
it's
is behind the back seat.
It's behind the rear seat. So we pulled all that stuff off. So what we're looking at, this stuff over here is mostly engine related. So we've got starter relays, over voltage relays. These 2 gray boxes down here are the shower sparks vibrators, isolation diodes, 2 voltage regulators. This is the timer for the hot props. So it just sequences, starts on the right, outer, then inner, and then left, outer, then inner, and then it goes back. Then they've got some pneumatic stuff over here. This is the fuel level sensor conditioner. And basically it just takes the information from the capacitive fuel sensors that are in the wing and sets up an electrical signal for the gauge. And we've got up here, these 2 lines coming in are from the air box. So it's pressurized air.
Clear on each side.
On each side, yep. There's one for each engine. It goes on up into the back and then comes actually through the heater and then back into the cabin. Well, now that most of the work is done, we're going to be really close to firing these engines up for the first time. So definitely pleased that the turbos were free, that we got oil pressure, got oil through the turbo bearings, wastegates are free, and all that good stuff. Most of the inspection work has been completed. All the floorboards were removed and the access panels in the floor of the airplanes so that Kurt could get in there and take a look at everything. So far, so good. So we're going to take a break for Christmas, and Monday we'll be back at it. And if all goes well, Monday afternoon we should be running the engines for the first time. Then our ground and flying tests will begin before we take it over to Coeur d'Alene to Aerostar to get quite a bit of work done. So
If you like the videos, please subscribe and press the like button. And if you want to be notified when the next ones are coming out, just ring that bell. Really appreciate all the followers that we've got and love the fact that the site is growing. Anybody has any ideas and other stuff that you'd like to see, please let me know and we'll get it out there.